So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. And how do we fix this glaring flaw with the iPhones? You might be saying, Nick, what is this flaw? If you looked at the thumbnail, you would have seen it has to do with the camera, specifically exposure compensation. Now, what am I talking about with that? So let me go ahead and open up the iPhone 10. Here's a video. This happens on pretty much all my iPhones in both video and photo. And, you know, I take out the Pixel 2. I feel like I could count on it more than an iPhone right now because this thing just overexposes all the time. You know, not every single picture, but a lot of the time. So what do I mean by that? So the detail is amazing on the iPhone. Don't get me wrong. It's pretty solid. Colors are nicely balanced. But in the background, you can see the exposure. So the sky didn't actually look that white. It's very overblown in the back. There's no detail in the clouds there. And, you know, I know I'm being picky here, but when you have other phones and you're using cameras, this doesn't look very good. So same here on this photo for the iPhone. So I took this photo on Lake Michigan, Chicago, and you can see, I could see a little bit of the buildings back there, but look at the sky. Now the sky did not look that, you know, whitish. It was a rainy day. However, I could still see clouds in a more detailed photo that I would see on maybe, you know, like like here. This time it did good, but a lot of the times it does this right here. So let me go back to that photo I was just at. Let's see if I could find it. It does this right here where it overblows the photo. So how do we fix this? Now, I found this camera on the App Store, and this app developer did not support this video. I simply support this app, and I want you guys to check it out if you are interested in getting a better and more detailed photo from your iPhone, iPad, or any other iOS device you have. Now, if you download this camera, Manual Camera 2, it's gonna cost you $2.99. So it is not a free app, but it's well worth the money here. So it says it right there, custom exposure. You know, you can see it right there. So it has HEV support. It can shoot in RAW. So you can see right there. And this is the application. I do recommend you guys go download it. Now, once you buy this camera, you own it forever on any of your iOS devices. So what can I get from this camera? So let me take out this Canon lens right here. Now, this is not going to be a great situation to actually showcase the overexposure, but on an auto camera, not only does it overexpose, but look how that light shifts. That light shifts a lot every time you move the camera because it's in an automatic mode for the auto settings for iPhone. Now, do you see it's doing it right there? Look at all that light just moving around. So this is what I don't like about the iPhone's stock camera here, is that the lighting just is all over the place, and I can tell when somebody is shooting a video on an iPhone camera. You know, you got to have good eyes for that, and you got to, you know, be in the cameras and stuff to understand this. But if somebody's shooting on an iPhone camera, you're gonna see a lot of light movement, like exposure shifting all the time. So I got the Manual Camera app here, and in this application, I have the ability to change the lighting, and it stays where I put it. So I can change the focus right here, and I can actually dial in the focus exactly where it's perfectly sharp here. And then I can go to white balance. I could change if it's darker or cooler or warmer here. That really comes down to your personal preference there. And here's the exposure compensation. So this is what I think Apple, you know, really needs to fix. You know, they have it in the stock camera, like you can brighten it up, which is basically the exposure, but it still shifts when you move the camera around. So it doesn't stay put. So the camera will shift. Now on the iPhone 10 here with this Manual Camera 2, wherever I set that exposure, it will stay no matter where I put that camera. Now, of course, if you move from a bright location to a dark location and you got a high exposure, things are gonna look a little different. But if you just set this up on a tripod and you hit the exposure and you shoot a video, or yes, you can shoot a video in manual as well, or you shoot a photography photo, you're basically gonna have exactly what you dialed in. And that gives you a level of control that's only usually seen on Android phones here for your iPhone, but I think this camera is even better than a lot of the manual modes on Android. Now, you don't want to go over like that or you'll overexpose. In addition to that, this camera also offers some great video functionality. So if I hit the video function, you're gonna see, you know how we always gotta dig into the settings to get to our video functions? You can also manually focus your video here on this camera, which is amazing because sometimes that camera auto just can't get into focus and we sometimes just revert back to our cameras. You can go up here and you can switch to all your modes here: 4K 30, 1080 240, 4K 24, 1080 240 right there, 1080 120, 1080 60, 4K 60. I mean, you could do it all right there from the camera. So I'm gonna end it here. I just wanted to let you guys know about this camera app. I think I let you know in another video, but this is a glaring flaw that is easily rectified with this camera. So if you've been having the issue with your iPhone about overexposure, you don't like how that light shifts, I mean, this has been something that's been bugging me for the longest time, so I wanted to share this. You can get that manual camera too, and you'll rectify all of those issues right there. Now, if you have any other camera app suggestions to help with this exposure issue on the iPhone, go ahead and drop it down below in the comment section of this video to help other users out to have a better photography experience on what might be their only camera. Anyway, if you found this video helpful, enjoyable, entertaining, informing, do me a favor, click that like button for me, and if you're new here, consider subscribing for more. Episodes continue after this. Nick helping you to master your technology. Be sure to be well, and peace.